in place to keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same? 1% trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance and for the millions watching at home, DCK Productions proudly brings to you the greatest podcast in the world! The greatest podcast in the world? Suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. I appreciate it if you both suck it. Suck it!
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome, everybody, to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, Derek. How is everybody today on a Tuesday, September 15th of the horrible year that is 2020? I hope everybody is, doing... Damn, hold on a second. All right, I think I'm okay. How is everybody doing for a Tuesday? Ooh. Wait. Hold on. I think I'm okay. All right, cool. But, nothing crazy is going on in the world today. Nothing at all. So we're just going to completely ignore all that shit. We're just going to have some fun. Because today... Ooh. Something's wrong with my throat. Because today I have a really fun fucking guest. Because not only do him and I share similar pasts, him and I also share similar careers, as he's also a podcast host as well. So, let's not even, beat around the bush. Let's not even, screw around with shit. Let's not, procrastinate any longer than we need to. Let's just get right into it. So, from the Tattness podcast, please welcome Keith McCleary. What's up, bud?
How's it going, brother?
You know what? I can't complain.
I hear that, man. I mean, you can, but
I can.
It doesn't change shit.
It doesn't. No, I mean, in this climate, what the fuck does it matter, right?
Not a damn thing.
All you're doing is adding to the chaos at that point.
Exactly, right. Nothing gets sorted that way. It's all the same shit.
It really is. At this point in time, just like, whatever, fuck it. That's what, that's what we got, TV for, to hopefully ignore that kind of shit with, lots of good TV shows coming on. And
people still bitch about that, though, and like nitpick at every little thing. Like, suspend your disbelief for a minute, man. That's kind of the point.
I know. Well, like, what was it? This week, people were flipping out over that new fucking Netflix movie, Cuties. It's like, did y'all even fucking watch the movie or even read the premise of the fucking movie? It's literally about the exploitation of children. But yet, 10 years ago, y'all were fucking watching Dance Moms, no fucking problem. But the moment they talk shit about it, y'all want to fucking flip out, whatever. That's all good and whatever. Just my opinion.
People don't actually give a shit. They don't read articles anymore. They just read the headline, and then they jump on it. And it's like, did you even read the shit, dude? Or are you just like having, an opinion fucking meltdown?
Yeah.
With no facts behind it.
Exactly. Especially when it comes to like TV and shit like that. we also have that protest group here called 1 Million Moms, which loves to, go up in arms about stupid shit. Like last year, 2 years ago, they took credit for taking Lucifer off the air. But in reality, Fox just canceled them because they wanted Disney to buy them because it's a DC property. So nobody wants to talk about that. But in reality, or 1 Million Moms didn't protest a DC comic named Lucifer, but God damn it, they're going to protest the goddamn TV show. But, that's none of my business. So how's everything going for you, man? Things going well?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I feel like there's an unspoken rule where, like, every time your professional career, like, the better it does, the more your personal life has to fall the fuck apart. It's just...
Yeah.
It's like people show their true colors. The more success you see, the more people act like you owe them something.
Or they want to shit on you.
Right. So, I mean, there's that. I'm used to that. That's usually probably well-deserved, but,
Oh, me too. I deserve every ounce of shit that comes my way.
I say some shit. I do. I'm an opinionated motherfucker, and
me too.
So I'm fully equipped to put up with that. But it's more the people that, like, it's always this shit of like, hey, I have this financial issue. How can I make this your fucking problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that happens every fucking day in this business.
Every day.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what side of the business you're in. It doesn't matter if you're a podcaster or a TV show host or an actor or a musician, whatever. If you're in the entertainment business, as soon as you get your name in print, they think you all of a sudden have all this fucking money.
I mean,
blowing up your Twitter feed. Hey, how's it going? I'm talking 10 years, but
right. And I own businesses and shit and all sorts of shit, but it's like I don't recall you motherfuckers ever doing nothing for my ass when I had nothing. When all I had to offer was my time, you didn't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden I got 90-some best friends and fucking all this other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my fucking Instagram or my Twitter, man, blows up every fucking day with just, hey, can you help me out? And hey, I mean, not necessarily asking for money, but like just asking for shit. Right. Hey, can you do this? Or hey, can you do that? It's like, come on, really?
Right. It's always like either money or it's who I know or what I could do to help them out. And then there's people I've even offered opportunities and, give them a spot on my show to kind of get their name out there for whatever it is they're doing. And they're like, yeah, sure. No problem. That sounds awesome. And then they ghost your ass. You've known them their whole life, but it's like they don't jump on opportunities. And then you see them on social media saying, I tried everything to get fucking where I want to be and nothing worked.
Yeah.
Well, no, you didn't fucking try everything, because if you did, you'd be successful, motherfucker.
Exactly. So talk about your show. What's the premise of it and what's it called and all that good stuff?
The Tattness Podcast Uncensored, it has no premise. That's the beauty of it. It's fucking organic conversation. I don't like, because I'm so used to doing interviews on the receiving end where it's always the same old fucking questions. And everyone thinks they're the fucking first person to ask this shit.
Yeah.
And it's so boring. And I know in most cases it's not them. It's like they have a higher up that's telling them you got to ask all this shit.
Yep.
And they're probably aware of other interviews where like, man, I've seen this question asked like 6 billion fucking times. Can we get a little more creative, but they're not giving no leeway. So I understand that. I'm not shitting on them, but I didn't want to be that guy. And I was like, you know what? If you want your fans to, connect with you more, let them know who you are as a person. Let's just fucking talk about, and the fact that, maybe you're a musician or something for a living and you love it. Of course, you're passionate about it, but maybe it would be nice to talk about real fucking life outside of your business, like you have interests.
Exactly.
And maybe you'd like the opportunity to finally talk about that shit. Maybe you like sports. Maybe you like fucking politics, or I don't like politics, man. I don't get into that. But, maybe there's shit that you just want to talk about like a normal person. and
Yeah.
I give people that opportunity. So so far everyone's really dug it and been really. I haven't had anyone yet on the show that has not asked to come back. So
Yeah. I'm pretty much the same way. This show is, 100% uncensored, unscripted. I don't research guests prior to coming on, except for, just enough to start a conversation. And therefore, it's not an interview. It's a conversation, that just kind of can go anywhere at any given time. And that's what it's all about. I mean, so you and I have, very similar ideas on that kind of stuff, which is good because a lot more people should be doing it that way instead of, waiting for PR to fucking send you a list of questions that you're allowed to ask versus questions you're not allowed to ask. And then just saying, okay, I'll follow this exact thing because you just did the exact same interview the other day and I'll do it again.
right, it's like, fuck, man. Your listeners are gonna be like, really? It's the same fucking conversation, just different people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny you say that shit too, because I listened to your show with Nate Sounds, and I was tripped out because I didn't realize that your show was only the second one he ever did. Mine was the first. Yeah. So I had no idea I was the first show he ever did. And you could tell he was finding his footing, but he handled it like a fucking champ. So
he did. He did, especially when I started going off on his personal life and talking about his past and shit like that. That was pretty awesome. So I enjoyed that a lot. He's a badass. So I'm kind of I was really happy to have that conversation with him.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, man. I really enjoyed the show with him, both yours and the one I did with him. He was really cool, and I knew, like, if you're that comfortable with, like, putting, like, I know from experience, if you're that comfortable with putting your personal shit out there, you're going to be okay in this business because that comes out whether you want it to or not. So you might as well be the one to put it out so there's no false narrative. You know what I mean? So then facts get put out, not conjecture and, bullshit from bitter ass people or whoever the source or, rumors and shit like that. So I think he's got that working for him.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in his case, because he's definitely up and coming and he's definitely got a talent to him. Especially only being around the business for the last 4 or 5 years or some shit like that.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, the dude fucking sold his house to finance his music career. I mean, that's pretty fucking badass.
Yeah, dude, that's commitment. I mean, you believe in it then, if like for sure.
It really, yeah, absolutely. I've only heard of shit like that happening a handful of times in this business. What was it? Was it 4 or 5 years ago? Johnny Nitro, John Morrison, whatever you want to fucking call him, sold his house to make that movie, The Bounty Hunter.
Right.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that wasn't exactly the best movie ever. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it was pretty bad.
I didn't hear great things, and I haven't seen it.
Let's stick to wrestling, bud. I love the guy. He's a cool ass guy, but no.
I mean, good on him for trying something new, but
absolutely,
that was a bad business move.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the time, he was bouncing between the Indies, AAA, and Lucha Underground at the time. So he was just trying to, do something because, he wasn't, being steadily booked prior to going to Impact and then coming back to WE. What was it, 2 years ago, a year ago, whatever it was. So, again, more power to him. He tried something. He did something and he made it his own and, was able to star in his own, film that he freaking financed. So, again, more power to him.
Oh, yeah, I ain't mad at that, but... man, your house? I mean, I feel like if you read the script, you might be like, that's probably not the move. But
he wrote the script, from what I understand.
Oh, well, then that's overconfident.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But, yeah.
I didn't know he wrote the shit.
As far as if I remember correctly, he did.
Wow. I mean, good on you for believing in your shit, but... God damn, that's a bold move.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fake it till you make it, not fake it till you're homeless. Like, fuck.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure he's never going to be homeless.
No, he's probably got enough saved up that he'll be fine.
Yeah. Dude is, yeah. I mean, and plus he's back with the E, so he's making fucking a pretty fucking penny.
Right.
And his wife is still with Impact, I believe. Or she recently got I can't remember. Taya, whatever her name is, yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in spite of all their problems, they're still making fucking money.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh,
absolutely. So, talk about your history a little bit here, because I know you're an MMA fighter. I know you're a tattoo artist. You've kind of dabbled in a little bit of everything. So talk about that for a little bit here.
Yeah, man. So yeah, back in the day, I got into, like, I was always huge into art, and so I became a tat artist. And it was basically, I got tired of like not enjoying what I do for a living. You know what I mean? And I did a little research. I was moving out to the Niagara Falls area on my side of the border in Canada. And I started to do a little research. There was a small town where people were not exactly the wealthiest of people, and they're a little bit salty about tat shops that were super expensive. And I was like, okay, what if I could offer you an alternative and keep my overhead as low as possible, keep my profits, minimal, and just get by? Would you be interested? And everyone's like, dude, get the fuck out here. Like, make it happen now. And I was in a relationship at the time with somebody whose family is from out there. So I was like, well, shit, it makes sense. They want to go back to where they're from. And so I was like, I'll fucking just do that. So I did that for a while. But, it was an unforgiving business, because at the time it wasn't really standard practice to ask for a deposit in case people no-show.
Yeah.
That wasn't really how it was back then. That's more of a newer practice because it's happened to people enough. So you think that you're scheduled for where someone's coming in for a certain time and they just don't show up because they have nothing to lose. Yeah. They decided some drugs were a little more important for their money that day, and they want to go get drunk or whatever the fuck. So they changed their mind. And you're like, shit, now my rent's paid, but I'm fucking broke. So you're starving, basically.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a while. But again, comes with the territory. All of a sudden you got, all these cousins that fucking want nothing to do with you. That, like, your entire life made zero effort to even speak to you. But now they want to get close and all this bullshit because there's something in it for them, right? Yeah. They don't want to pay fucking for ink. So I'll come to you and you'll do it for nothing because we're family. Fuck out of here. So, it bittered me on it a little bit, where I was just like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Then I went to a bunch of career changes, where I ended up taking over a bar for a while, but I had a business partner who was doing stupid shit, over serving people and risking, like, it's like, motherfucker, if you get a fine, I get a fine, and I don't need that. Yeah. And I kept finding out from people, if I took one day away, because I was working about 14 to 17 hour days, it's your business, you got to fucking be there, right? Yeah. If I took one day off, I would find out he was over serving people and risking my name and my ass. So I was like, fuck this, I'm done. So I took my, my business, I just said, fuck it. And I decided to go to college, and I went to college, and I was like, this shit's not for me. I'm a physical cat. I don't want to fucking do this bullshit, sit behind a desk doing business accounting, fuck that. It's so boring. So a friend of mine that I worked with prior, that I worked for, was a master corporal in the military. So he was like, dude, I'm telling you, you got to go to the military route because of the pension you get. They take care of you out here, man. So I was like, all right, cool. and I qualified for my trades that I wanted and all that shit. And they're like, except there's a minimum of a 3-year waiting list just to get into your trades. And I'm like,
Damn.
holy fuck. So it's like, well, I got to do something in the meantime. And I said to, you know, who I was with at the time, I asked her, I said, how would you feel if I got into MMA for a living? Like, you know, I've been with someone before that was like, man, I don't want you fucking getting all banged up and shit, and, you know, having our daughter come home, you know, see you come home all fucking bruised up and bullshit. But I'm like, how would you feel about it? You know, because you got to make decisions with the person you're with if they're a part of your life. That's just fucking normal.
Yep.
You know, it's narcissistic otherwise, I feel, to exclude them from your life decisions. So I was like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. How would you feel about it? She's like, you're fucking built for that. Like, this is what you do. You'd be insane not to. I think you should. So I actually went to a gym when we moved back to where I come from, which is a little ghetto outside of Toronto. And I went to this gym owned by a former WWE wrestler who was Santino Marella. And he owned this Battle Arts Academy.
Yep.
That had cage fighting. It had like all the MMA shit. It had pro wrestling, boxing, everything. And it was one hell of a place to lift. So I went in and I started lifting because they had all free weights and barely any machines. And I walked in the octagon and I was like, there's just something right about this. Like, immediately I was like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm doing. And from there, it was just kind of like, fuck yeah, this is what I have to do. I spent 4 hours a day every day in the gym, and I just loved the shit. And unfortunately, not long after, just as I was about to get really into it, we get my career really fucking like going. Just as it picked up, we had a child who was born with a terminal condition. And we were told there's no chance in hell he's going to survive. And with that condition, most children live 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So that kind of threw a wrench in everything. And eventually my fiance, his mother split because what do you do, right? Like you're trying everything to keep it together. And obviously a relationship's not your top priority. You just got to take care of him every day. And so yeah, I went through my bullshit. There's a documentary about my life, so we kind of touched on this, but you know, I went through my bullshit where I just fucking gave up on shit for a while, just for a few months, just feeling, you know, that helplessness, I guess, of, you know, as a man, as a father, like, you're genetically programmed to fucking give your life if you have to protect your family. And when all the money in the world, all the strength in the world, and giving your life's not an option to save your child, there's nothing you can do. You're absolutely helpless. You go through some shit, right? So, you know, eventually I went through it, and it was just kind of like, okay, you can sit here and you can drink yourself to death and do nothing fucking productive, or you can make him proud and get off your ass, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and go fucking back to your career. And I just started knocking motherfuckers out left and right. And I started a clothing line that in 2016 that ended up taking off. And it was like, I don't have to do this shit anymore if I don't want to. I don't have to risk being concussed and shit. You know? Like, I've got this name for myself out of nowhere. And everything I touch seems to just take off. And eventually it was just like people for some reason gravitated, I guess maybe the fact that in interviews and things I was always so open about my story, my history, that people are like, I could relate, you know, things aren't so fucking perfect on my end either. And this motherfucker is not afraid to tell people, like, this didn't happen overnight, and it wasn't an easy road. My life was a fucking mess. From day one, and I never tried to tell people otherwise. I never tried to say, you know, everything was great, and I just fucking, if you're meant to be successful and all this bullshit, nah. You fight your ass off for every bit of it. You work
Absolutely.
hard, and I think people just gravitated towards that. And then I dealt with so many professionals that were like, you need to do a show because you're one opinionated motherfucker that has no concerns whatsoever, but you make sure that you're educated in your opinions. You don't just spout shit off for the sake of saying it.
Yep.
You make sure you know what you're talking about. And if you are corrected, you're the first to say, my bad. Sorry that I fought so hard for something that wasn't even right. I really believed in it, and I stand corrected. And I think there's a lot to be gained from that. And so I didn't really want to do it. I was like, I don't know, who the fuck would care, right? So when I started, I was just fucking around, and it blew up, and I was like, oh, okay, now I have a responsibility now. I got to be serious, and I got to fucking, touch on things that matter. And, I've had some really cool guests. And so it's like, fuck, dude, I just ended up on a list of the top 50, and I saw you're on the list, which is cool.
Yeah, the only reason you got ahead of me is because they felt sorry for you because you're Canadian.
I figured that was probably it. I was tempted to reach out to them and apologize for only coming in 10th.
I have waited 27 minutes to tell that joke. I was waiting for the opening.
I couldn't fucking believe the shit. I was actually camping. I was taking a 3-day vacation for once, and I got shot this text, and I was like, balls deep in beer, and I'm like, really? You're just gonna go and send me some shit that I'm not even gonna be on their radar for? That's fucking brutal, but I appreciate it because I love a good ball busting. And then I see I'm fucking in the top 10. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea. I don't really pay attention to all that crap. So, it's just crazy. And I saw that you're on the list. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. So congrats, bro. That's really cool. Thanks, man. It's really cool to see that, because I don't pay attention to this shit. I don't really, usually I'm like, who writes this shit? I don't really pay attention to none of it. I just do what I do, and I just keep focusing forward. So
yeah. So how big is your listenership, just out of curiosity?
I'm on so many platforms. It's fucking really hard now at this point, but I know it's in the multi-millions at this point, which is crazy.
Gotcha.
I know, like I'm on fucking Podcast One's little like subsidiary thing. That's
where you publish your podcast, right?
Yeah. That's my go-to. Because they're pretty fucking awesome. And I'm on iHeart Radio and fucking, Pandora and all that great shit.
Yeah, all the same place as I am, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really hard to keep tabs on it all. And I'm just like, fuck,
Yeah, I mean, I'm at, what is it, monthly? About 500,000 a month. So, it's a tough grind.
Yeah, dude. People don't get that.
Yeah. I mean, I do 6 episodes a fucking week. And it's tough. I mean, it's tough.
I've been doing minimum like 2 guests a day. And it's like usually one, and then the hour after them is another one. So I'm like, man, normally I let this run long if it's going to, but I really can't do it this time because I got someone directly after you, and then they get the luxury of running long if they want. And sometimes it's a 2-hour show, 3-hour fucking, it doesn't, Yeah. And that's the hardest part, is telling people like, I really want to fucking carry this on, but I can't,
Yeah. Oh, I know that feeling. I mean, went back through June, July, and August. I was doing 3 times a week. I was doing double guests because I had a celebrity guest, and then I had a band afterwards. To put on a performance and to make sure that I was able to, book that right. I was like, oh, but you know, that's why I just do one guest a day. You know, and just therefore we can go an hour and a half, 2 hours on our conversation. I don't have to worry about it. You know, it is what it is.
Right. And, you know, I'm friends with like so many of these people too. And it's like, I get them on my show and then I get other people pitched to me and I'm like, fuck, dude. So it gets hectic as shit, but I can't complain because it's like, you know, to be friends with people that I grew up watching their shit, it's just mind blowing. Like I had Ken Sagos on my show from Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4 that played Kincaid. And I was like, dude, you were my favorite character in that fucking, now you're my friend, you know. October, I have CJ Graham, who's a friend of mine that played Jason in Friday the 13th Part 6. So that's going to be interesting as shit. Because all month for October, I'm doing like a horror-based theme of just all Halloween season and kind of break the monotony because it's been a lot of you know, musicians and shit lately. And I like it, and it's like, you know, I realized the new Halloween movie, everyone's bummed out that it got postponed because this COVID bullshit, and everyone's like, Halloween's canceled. I'm like, fuck that. I will make all October horror themed and just have fucking badass horror movie guests. I've even had my friend Mick on, who was the production designer for Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4, for Candyman, and all sorts of shit. So he's got some badass stories. I got a book coming in the mail, actually, that he put together of his work with Nightmare on Elm Street and just all the inside stories and shit with pictures and all this cool shit that went on during the making of the movie. So that'll be cool.
Speaking of Halloween, what do you think of the Rob Zombie series?
I think people shit on it so hard, and I was like, I kind of liked it, man. Like,
So do I.
You know, I feel like if I wanted to see the exact same fucking movie as 78, I would just go watch that.
Exactly.
You know, I see nothing wrong with it. I thought they were well done. You know, hell, I don't even hate the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I'm like, if you watch it as its own thing, it's actually not terrible, but it seems to be the go-to thing to shit on it. And it's like, you know, Robert can't do this shit forever. He's already said he's done with it.
Yeah. But I'll be damned if he's not at every single fucking con.
Right. He even said, like, he's got so many old surfing injuries that don't heal well, you know, as you get older. And so doing all the physical shit in the movies, he's like, it takes way too long to recover. And he's like, I should have been done like 10 years prior to the last one. And so he's like, I just don't see myself doing it again. But he's like, I'd do a cameo in a new one gladly, but I'm not going to do any of the physical shit and play Freddy again. It's just not happening. So yeah. I don't blame him. I mean,
not do I.
You got to know when to call it quits, right?
Yeah, 100%. You know, I think the horror genre as a whole, you know, it's gotten, I don't want to say campy, but I almost do. Because there's, like, you know, people are constantly pushing out, you know, these horror flicks. And of the 10 or 12 that are put out every year, maybe one or two of them are good.
Right.
And it's the one or two that are good are the sleeper ones that you didn't expect to be good.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's accurate as fuck.
Yeah. You know, it's not like a big, you know, blockbuster like, you know, the Marvel movies or a DC flick, which aren't really blockbusters, but you know, you can't predict, you know, the horror genre, and I think that's what's really makes it really awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, let's be real, they're never gonna win like fucking awards and shit. And I've explained this on my show, I think, to my producer, that, you know, she's like, why don't they ever get considered? And I'm like, because the Oscars and all that shit are in bed with all these like companies that do all the special effects and this, that, and the third. And when it's horror, like any fucking Johnny camcorder can come along with a fucking budget of $5,000 and put out this massive fucking epic movie, because the more real it looks, the fucking scarier it is. So they don't need all that CGI bullshit. If anything, that's what people had an issue with Nightmare on Elm Street's remake and things like that, was all the practical stuff that was switched up to CGI.
Yeah.
Which took away from the effect.
Yeah, I mean, 70s and 80s horror, even early, 90s, had that practical effects. I mean, like, American Werewolf in London. I mean, that transformation scene is probably one of the greatest of all time. I mean, it's just
fucking
epic. And it's been tried to be recreated 1,000 times, but it's something that you can never recreate. I mean, it's epic.
You know, it was a massive letdown due to CGI, was that fucking Leprechaun remake.
Oh God, the one with fucking Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, WWE made that one. That was horrible.
I understand his disappointment, because he thought, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get to play the character, and then he's all CGI, so it's like no one's gonna know it's you. Yeah. There's no way. Like, it could have been anyone. Which is kind of, I understand him being upset about that and disappointed, because it's like you literally could have gotten anybody and no one would know the difference. And, the CGI just kind of fucking takes you out of it.
It really does. I mean, CGI and other things, is not necessarily a bad thing. But in horror, it definitely is.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like unnecessary in horror. It has its place, absolutely. Like, save that shit for Matrix and fucking Transformers and bullshit like that. Let Michael Bay have that shit.
Yeah. I mean, because, like, one of the greatest television shows of all time, Walking Dead, has gotten shit on every time they did CGI. I remember, what was it, 2 or 3 seasons ago, they were shooting at a campground, not a campground, like a carnival, and Rick was up on like the Ferris wheel or something, and there was a fucking CGI deer that ran across the screen, and everyone like, why? What the fucking get a goddamn deer? You're in fucking Atlanta, Georgia. You can find a fucking deer to run across the fucking screen. It's stupid shit like that. I mean, but like, the practical effects of like horror, like, Greg Nicotero especially, I mean, of Walking Dead and so many other fucking amazing things, just fantastic. But the moment you add in that CGI effect, it ruins everything. It
does. It's noticeable. It stands out too much, I think. And I don't know, it just doesn't have the same effect. I feel like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, it's funny. I think people were just determined to hate it.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the list of complaints that people have with it, they've changed either too much shit from the original, or they fucking copied shit from the original. So either way, it's either they were lazy for copying shit from the original, or they changed shit that they shouldn't have from the original. It's like, which one is it? Like, you're mad because someone else got picked to play Robert's character. We get it. That's Robert's fucking character. But there comes a point where it's like, I compared it with my producer to, like, you look at Dracula, for example. That character lived on all this time because it changed the story. There's so many fucking vampire stories and Dracula stories. They've changed so much over the years, over the decades, and nobody was salty about it. And it kept it alive.
I think the only ones that I know I was salty about was Twilight.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was just trash, but
yeah, I mean, I've never seen a vampire glisten in the sun.
Right. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Obviously there's always an exception to the rule. But yeah, that's a good one. That's definitely an exception to that rule. But aside from that, the stories have changed so much that, it's always been kind of widely accepted. And I guess Robert, to his credit, did such a great fucking job with this character and cared about the character so much that people kind of related to, maybe to a fault. He had no qualms with somebody else playing the character. He was curious to see how they would do.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if you've heard, I'm sure everybody has by now, he's actually kind of pushing for Kevin Bacon to play Freddy next. He's given his blessing, so.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't necessarily agree with that. Because it's Kevin Bacon. And not because it's Kevin Bacon, but because it's Kevin Bacon. I can't see, he's only played a bad guy in a handful of roles.
And it's because he's Canadian, so let's just put that out there.
That's true too.
That's the real fucking reason.
Yeah, if we're gonna go with Canadian people that should play Freddy, I think we should go with Bieber or something.
Oh, for the love of fuck.
Or Chad Kroger.
Oh my god. Freddy Kroger.
Yeah, hell yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Every fucking part, every kill, he makes them listen to a Nickelback song, and then they just kill themselves. I would.
That would be the greatest parody movie ever. Holy fuck! Did we just come up with something amazing?
The only fucking thing I ever want to hear from Nickelback is a retirement speech and an apology.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't even rebut that, dude. That's almost fucking epic. Oh, shit. All right, on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back with you, bud. Guys, ever wonder how I get this manly beard looking so good? It's all because of Viking Revolution. And at Viking Revolution, not only can you get some great beard balms, but you can also get some great beard oils, as well as some awesome quick shower pads, which helps prevent you stanking up after the gym. Also, these great wet wipes, which help prevent, stanky after going doo-doo. And also some pomades and some other great products, all at Viking Revolution. So do yourself a favor, go to dcproductions.com/sponsors, click on the banner, and get yourself some of these great products. Viking Revolution. Join the revolution. All right, and tonight's program is also brought to you by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an app that you can access anywhere in the world in order to get the therapy that you need when you need it. No more waiting rooms, no more going onto your, insurance website, searching for the doctor that meets your needs, and then waiting weeks upon weeks upon weeks to get that first appointment just to find out you don't like them and that they don't fit your needs. And then you got to go and do the whole thing all over again. BetterHelp is here to fix that problem. You can text your therapist 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever you want, and they'll respond back to you. Plus, you also get a journal diary that you can have, personally locked away in there that you can share with your therapist or not. Plus, you also get weekly visits. There's a whole slew of benefits to be with BetterHelp. So do yourself a favor and go to betterhelp.com/SIPod. That's SIPod as in Suck It Podcast, SIPod, for 10% off your first month. Trust me when I tell you, BetterHelp is the best therapy, out there. I use it every week on Sundays. And trust me, if you sign up for it at betterhelp.com/SIPod, you won't regret it. BetterHelp. Give it a shot, man. All right, and we're back.
I'm just going to add to that. If you're a fan of Nickelback, please get BetterHelp.
Note to BetterHelp. That was Keith, not me.
My bad.
I enjoy your sponsorship. Thank you. But no, I agree with you.
As a Canadian, it's my duty to say sorry.
No, you gotta say sorry.
And then I'll go build my igloo, even though the heat wave out here has been exactly the same temperature as California for the longest time.
Really? You guys are having a heat wave?
Oh, it's been brutal. Yeah, dude. Summer here, like this year, has been literally the same temperature as California most days.
Yeah, I'm in Northern Virginia, right outside of D.C. And it was a hot summer, but it wasn't a hot summer. I mean, we hit 100 a couple of times, but nothing too crazy. And now, I mean, as soon as September 1st hit, we've been in the low 80s, mid 70s. Today was 71. I mean, it's been nice. And we're getting down into the 30s and 40s at nighttime again. And so it's like, bring it on.
See, when it's close to like 100 for you guys, it just sounds nicer here. It's like 29. But when you do the conversion, it's actually, it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. 29 to 100 is a big difference.
You like, Celsius and Fahrenheit are two completely different measurements. So it's like, oh, that's 29. That's not bad. I'm like, do the conversion. Oh, it's just as bad as it is here. That blows.
Yeah.
It just sounds nicer. 29. Like, what are you complaining about?
Americans forget the fact that, we're the only country in the world to use inches and Fahrenheit and so on and so forth. Everyone else uses the metric system and Celsius. Water boils at 100 degrees, not 212.
Oh my God. It's just so brutal. And it's like the heat has been like insane.
Yeah. Like I said, this summer was hot. It was consistently hot, and especially being in the mountains where I'm at, it's freaking humid as all hell too. But it's not as bad as it was in Florida where I used to live, but it's still pretty bad here. Yeah,
Florida gets it pretty bad.
Whew. Yeah, I mean, you can wake up on Christmas Day being 100 fucking degrees.
Right,
Fuck. I had to get away from that, man, because, I'm originally from Ohio. I lived 2 blocks away from Lake Erie. I was there, and, I got your snow every year, that lake effect snow that just dropped, 12 inches within a 5-minute period. I loved it. And, I've only been here this will be my 5th Christmas coming up here. And we haven't had anything too dramatic yet, but I'm hoping this year we finally get something good.
Yeah.
I miss big snowstorms.
When I moved from the Toronto area, I live in Nova Scotia now. I actually live in the exact city where Trailer Park Boys was filmed. Mm-hmm. And we don't get it nearly as bad as Toronto did.
Yeah.
Toronto would get brutal snowstorms every winter, and I'm out here in a t-shirt in December. Like, this isn't too bad. And I'm like, I read about Toronto getting just hammered because I got cousins that live there and shit still. Yeah. And they're knee deep in snow. I'm like, you can fucking keep it too. I was born in January. Fuck that. I hate it.
I love it. I still love the snow. I love the bitter cold, having to put on a hoodie. Because I'm the type of guy that refuses to turn on the heat in my house.
Me too.
So it literally has to be, 50 degrees in the home in order for me to be able to say, okay, yeah, fine, turn on the heat. But if it's anything more than 50, put on fucking flannel pajamas, put on a fucking hoodie, put on your slippers, and just chill. You'll be fine.
Right. You can layer up.
Exactly.
It doesn't cost shit.
It doesn't. Fucking, the heat is more expensive than goddamn AC. Fucking gas is expensive. Fuck.
You know what you got to do? You really want to show you mean business? Anytime somebody touches the fucking heat, make them listen to a Nickelback song. We're pretty unforgiving here in Canada.
I should just fucking wire it that way. As soon as they touch the fucking button, it just. This is how you remind me.
Do not fuck with the heat.
Exactly. Look at this photograph. That's all I can remember.
That's already trauma. You shouldn't even fucking have to remember that.
No, there's actually one good Nickelback song. And it was off their first or second album. And it was the song about the domestic violence with the kid and the mom.
Right.
And the mom ended up killing the guy that was a good song because it spoke to everybody. That was a good song. So I give Chad Kroeger a little bit of credit on that one.
My issue is with him and him alone. Fuck that guy. Like the ego on this dude.
Yeah. I think for me it was the fact that once they figured out the method to get a shit ton of fucking listens with one demographic being, fucking teenage and, 20-year-old girls, they were like, okay, we're going to make every song sound exactly the fucking same. And occasionally throw out something else here and there. But, they figured out a formula that works for them. They're, hated everywhere they go, but they're also loved. They're the John Cena of fucking music.
I don't think there's a better description. I think that was nail on the head.
That is nail on the head. And next time I see John, I will say, hey, I just figured that out.
Yeah, fuck. And give him my apologies while you're at it from Canada. Fuck me. I mean, I don't know if you heard this interview. I think it was like a year or two ago. Probably about 2 years ago now. Fuck, time flies. Maybe 3 years ago now. This motherfucker had the audacity to try to suggest that Stone Sour is not as good as Nickelback.
Yeah, I fucking heard that. I remember that shit. It was about 2 or 3 years ago, but fuck.
And I was like, we must have amazing crack in Canada. Because he's on some shit if he believes that.
I've watched Letterkenny. Trust me. Y'all got some good shit up there. But yeah, I mean, no fucking way. Chad Kroeger is no fucking Corey Taylor at all whatsoever.
Not on his best fucking day.
No way. I mean, Slipknot by themselves is 3-4 times the band that Nickelback ever was or ever will be.
Exactly.
Yeah, granted, Nickelback makes a lot of money for Roadrunner Records, which Stone Sour and Slipknot are signed with them as well, and they even have a division of Roadrunner Records, which is run by Nickelback, and they have all the the campy Nickelback sounding stuff underneath that label. Therefore, they can have the real rock and metal stuff underneath the Roadrunner label. But I digress. But look at what Corey just fucking put out with CMFT Can't Be Stopped. Holy fuck! That is one of the greatest fucking, rock songs of the year. And Chad Kroeger can never do that shit. I will tell him that. If he ever comes on my show, I'll be like, look, we got to have a conversation, brother.
That was the only reason I said I'd ever have that motherfucker on my show, is just to, just give him that reality check and be like, listen here. Okay, we need to have some words.
I honestly think he would be a really fucking cool ass guest, to be honest. I think because his arrogance and and just the, everything about him would just make for a really fun and interesting conversation.
Yeah, I'm that guy that would be like, first of all, get some fucking help. If you believe that shit and it sounds like you do.
Yeah. Oh, he does. Oh, absolutely he does. No fucking doubt in my mind.
We could pull up records, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And his smug fucking face in that interview as he said the shit. I'm like, you're drinking light beer. You can't be drunk enough to believe your bullshit.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Who said it worse? Chad Kroeger saying that Nickelback was better than Stone Sour, or Kanye saying that he's the new Beatles?
Shit.
Yeah, see? Look at that shit.
Whoa, I was not prepared for that. I thought you were going to hit me with the whole meltdown that Billy Joe from Green Day had when he had the fucking audacity during a live show to go off on Slipknot and be like, fucking come out with a halfway decent song for once and maybe you'll be relevant. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of... You were relevant in 94, 95. And this is like 2012 you're saying this shit.
Well, that was right around the time that they had their Broadway show.
That was around the time he put himself in rehab.
Yeah.
Because he fucking knew he was on crack if he believed that bullshit.
I know.
Like, dude, when the fuck was the last time you guys put out a record anyone gave a shit about? You know?
It was that time. You know, I think it was around that time. American Idiot was around that time, wasn't it? Or was it before then?
That was 2005.
So 2005 was the last album that anyone gives a shit about.
Right, and this was 2012 when he went off and said
Yeah.
this shit. It's like, really, dude?
Yeah.
And then he checked himself into rehab. I'm like, good. Like, that's where you belong. Take Chad with you, for fuck's sake. Get that motherfucker some help.
Yeah, but I think Chad needs to go to a completely different rehab center. It's not for crack; it's just for sheer arrogance. So
Right.
I don't even know where he would check himself into for that. Some fucking narcissistic fucking place.
Is it just me, or does he have the most punchable face?
He literally looks like fucking Freddy Krueger. I mean, he just has that. Shave his head fucking bald, you wouldn't be able to fucking tell the difference.
Freddy Krueger's left nut. Like, fuck.
Yeah. What was it in Deadpool? He looks like a fucking avocado fucked another avocado. You look like Freddy Krueger fucked a topographical map of Arizona.
You know what really fucking killed me to hear was that apparently Vinnie Paul and Dime would defend Nickelback anytime someone shit on them.
Yeah, no.
Like, really? They're just too nice for their own good at this point.
Yeah. God rest their souls, though.
Yeah, they were sweet people, man.
Yeah.
And it went beyond. It's like, I guess if they saw something in you, like a redeeming quality where you're a halfway decent fucking person to them,
Yeah.
they would defend you, and that's a solid friend. But that one's a tough one to swallow, man.
Oh yeah, that one was absolutely. But if this says anything about the skill level of, speaking of the Pantera connection, if this says anything about the skill level of Stone Sour, I don't know what does. The fact that Roy Mayorga, the drummer for Stone Sour, is now the drummer for fucking Hell Yeah.
That's dope.
After fucking Vinny passed away.
Yeah, because they're like family, dude. So
well, Sepultura and the Mayorgas, we're fucking close as shit. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was dope. Hell Yeah is somebody I would love to get on the show too, because like fucking it doesn't matter what they do, they always kill it. And they've changed direction so many times.
They really have. The only thing that I would love to ask Chad would be just give us the fucking farewell tour that we deserve for Mudvayne.
I heard from sources that's not off the table.
I've heard that as well, but they've been saying that for quite a while. I mean, their Facebook page is still active and they still post every once in a while. But like, they just need to give us that closure, because that last album, I don't even remember the name of it, just sucked so bad from Mudvayne, and we did not get the proper tour. We did not get the proper album to just, especially with everything they did up to that point, with LD50 and then whatever I can't remember the name of the album, but just so many good fucking albums they came out with, and then that shitstorm of that last, pop rock, whatever the fuck it was, their fucking label getting their grubby little hands on it and saying, let's go ahead and make you more radio friendly and try to see if we can push this out. And then they said, fuck it, we're gone.
Yeah, that's I understand completely where Chad and Greg were coming from with that, where it's like the label made it not fun anymore.
Yep.
It was all about bottom lines and not about art. And I commend them for fucking saying, fuck this. If we're not enjoying it anymore, we're going to go and do what we enjoy. We've afforded ourselves the right to do that. And whether it's for 20 people or fucking 200,000 people, don't matter. We're going to go do what the fuck we want to do. And there's so many people that will shit on Hell Yeah and be like, Mudvayne's awesome and fucking Hell Yeah is garbage. And it's like, then don't listen to it and shut the fuck up.
I have a respect for Hell Yeah. But the thing about it is, I love them, in certain areas, but they've taken like you said, they've changed it up so many times. I can't grasp where they're at musically anymore, and it's just odd for me. I mean, there's some really great fucking Hell Yeah tunes, but like at the same time, it's just like, I mean, I've seen them on stage 3 times, and I've seen Mudvayne, I don't even know how many times. But, like, there was a different vibe behind it. And when they're performing live, Hell Yeah gives a fucking amazing show. But some of the songs that they put out and some of the albums that they put out, it's kind of like, eh. But the shows themselves were just fucking epic. Epic.
I'm going to put a challenge out for you.
Okay.
Where I failed miserably. And this is so bizarre to me, and I don't even know why it's my new obsession, but it's like, why is this not a thing? For anyone that doesn't know, Slipknot was highly responsible for Mudvayne getting signed.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't realize Corey Taylor's the one that kind of discovered them. Mm-hmm. And Sean, I believe, had a brother who was the technician for Mudvayne. So it's kind of, and there, I fucking see all the time on Instagram shit like that. Chad's very supportive of them and appreciative of them. Mm-hmm. But in spite of the internet, try to Google a picture, find a picture anywhere of Corey Taylor and Chad Gray together. Just does not exist.
It does not.
It's fucking ridiculous. Like, how does that never happen ever?
I don't know. Because here's the thing. They toured together in 2001, 2002, somewhere around there.
And I've seen,
for Iowa.
I've seen Vinny with Corey.
Yep.
With Carrot Top and like Chris Jericho, for fuck's sakes. But to get these two motherfuckers in the same place at the same time, like, you could search the internet. It just doesn't happen.
It does not exist. It does not exist. I've tried that myself. But
I just want to know why. Like, why?
I don't know. It's like most people, in my opinion, always group 2 bands together throughout the ages that are quote-unquote rivals. And Mudvayne and Slipknot were always paired together. Mm-hmm. And Slipknot, obviously won the battle, even though there was really no battle there.
None.
But at the same time, so maybe that has something to do with it. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe it's a Clark Kent Superman thing. Who knows? You never.
It's so bizarre. I mean, it's like, how did nobody ever, like, obviously they know each other quite well. How did nobody ever catch that happen? Because I'm sure it's happened a bajillion fucking times.
Oh, of course.
So how did nobody ever fucking get a picture of it? It's just so bizarre. And when the internet just does not have something, I refuse to believe that. So I'm like, there's got to be something,
I agree, 100%.
But to your point too, I mean, it's kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street and fucking Friday the 13th. Like, Craven and Cunningham must have this feud. It's like, dude, before those movies, they worked together on shit. They were friends. Like, they've been coworkers. They have no problem with each other whatsoever. There's no rivalry between the two movies.
No.
But you guys speculating all this bullshit led to a movie a bunch of years later, back in 03, because people wanted to see it.
Yeah. I mean, that was a decent movie too.
I know people shit on it too. They hate it.
Yeah. That was decent. That was a decent movie.
I saw it in the theater. I liked it. I don't know. I couldn't find it in me to like hate on it. I thought that was pretty, honestly, I give it a lot of credit because when I went into it, I was like, how in the fuck is this going to work? I don't catch Jason taking naps and shit. Like, like, how are they going to make this happen? And they had this brilliant fucking way of doing it. Like, they already thought of this shit.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That, but of course, everybody's mad that Hodder wasn't fucking Jason. And for me, it's like the only reason I give a fuck in that respect is because I know how crushed he was, that he was so looking forward to it. They even asked him about it, and then they turned around and said, never mind, change the plans. It's not you. And it was over height. Like, that's fucking stupid. But aside from that, like, I don't give a fuck. It's just, it sucks that he was fucking, like, heartbroken over it because I can understand the disappointment.
Hell yeah. I mean, to be on screen with fucking, with him and, absolutely, I can understand that. But, it's done now. It's, almost 20 years later, so.
The fact that he was ousted by a Canadian, it's not doing me any favors, man. We're getting a lot of heat over here.
You really are, man. I mean, like I said, the last good thing that's come out of Canada in the last 10 years is Letterkenny.
I guess I could just go fuck myself then.
Exactly. Come on, bud. There you go. Which, by the way, Canada, fuck, you were supposed to give us the fucking, the next season in like July, and now it's fucking September. Give us the fucking new season already. God damn it, Hulu and, whatever you guys have up there. I don't even know what channel it plays on up there, but god damn it. I want the new fucking season.
All I can say is I had nothing to do with any of that. At this point, I'm still apologizing for Nickelback, for fuck's sakes. And I had nothing to do with that either. There's only so much I can put on my shoulders, man.
I know, right? Let's talk some sport, man. MMA is in the shitter, in my opinion, right now.
I couldn't agree more.
Why do you think that is? I have my reasons.
I think that, honestly, I'm a heavyweight cat, and I fucking hate that UFC's like I'm 6'5", and I'm 265 fucking pounds, and that is the max limit for heavyweight. And I don't think there should be a max limit for that. I think there should at least be a super heavyweight, or there should just be no limit to heavyweight, and keep it within reason. Don't put like a 200 pounder against like a 300 pounder because he's gonna get fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
So maybe create an alternative. But I feel like the lighter weight divisions are super competitive, and you don't really have too many options to see big bastards like me fucking and other people just clobber the piss out of each other.
Well, plus, I mean, going back 10, 15 years ago, 13 years ago, the amount of stars that came out of the UFC was ridiculous. I mean, you had everyone from, Chuck to, and well, not so much Tito at that time. But then you had Forrest Griffin, then you had, Rampage, and you had, GSP, and you had this, and then you had that. Now you've got John Jones, and that's it. I don't follow it as much anymore, but, back in the day, if I missed a pay-per-view or if I hadn't watched it for a couple weeks, I would know what was going on. I could always tell you what was going on, even though I missed it. Now it's like I have to seek out fucking information in order to. I don't even know who the champions are anymore. I know John Jones is, but other than that, I think isn't Fabricio Werdum is the heavyweight champion, or am I wrong on that one?
Fuck, I'm in the same boat as you.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know.
I don't even really I'm so disgusted with the direction of it all.
Yeah.
And, you know, I do got to give a shout out to my boy Derek Lewis, though. I love that motherfucker. So, you know, when he does shit, he's entertaining as fuck. And he's one of the funniest cats out there. And so, you know, and he's no joke.
Yeah.
You know, but he's funny as shit.
Yeah.
And but yeah, otherwise,
I mean, now it's starting to get back in the forefront again because now all the rumors of a John Jones Brock Lesnar fight.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that's gonna go very well for Brock.
I don't think it's gonna happen, to be honest with you.
I don't think so either. Absolutely not. But if it does, it's not gonna go well for Brock.
No, and you know, the reason I say, for anyone that doesn't know, why I don't think it's gonna happen is in order for Brock to even compete, I believe it's about $65,000 he'll have to pay for 2 failed drug tests.
Yeah, because in order to get out of the paying the fine before he retired,
Right.
So now, yeah, and he lost his license because of that. So he has to re-get his license. Yeah.
So I mean, there's no avoiding it. They're gonna get you either way.
Yeah. At this point, he just needs to ride out his, you know, re-sign and get his $8 or $9 million a year from the WWE, wrestle, you know, 8 to 12 times in a year, and just enjoy his time at home with fucking Sable and, you know, on their fucking farm in the middle of fucking nowhere where he can just deer hunt and lift weights all the goddamn time. That's where he needs to fucking be.
And he's living in fucking Canada.
That's right. He moved from Minnesota to Canada. That's right.
I feel personally attacked, man. Like every fucking thing comes back on me.
I didn't bring it up. I just said in the middle of nowhere. You're the one who mentioned that it was Canada.
I just feel like everything's Canada's fucking fault at this point. I figured maybe I'll get myself some points if I acknowledge it first.
All right, well, you know, let's go ahead and give you some points. You guys did give us GSP.
True.
But then that's Quebec, and they don't consider themselves Canadians. They consider themselves French. So, did you really give us GSP? So I take that back.
You know, I'm not. I don't think I'm well. I don't think I'm well liked over there either. I don't speak a lick of French, dude. And I'm supposed to be going there this December to hang with Kenny Olson, my boy Kenny Olson, and Aronoff, and fucking, you know, Scott Page from Pink Floyd and all this shit. And I'm like, and fucking Sherry Nelson and shit, Maxim Model. I'm like,
I love Sherry.
I love Sherry too. And I'm like, y'all know I'm not well liked over there because I'm Canadian and I don't speak no damn French. They don't even want to talk to me, man. Like they get like that. They're fucking crazy like that. Where if you're from Ontario like myself, where I'm originally from Toronto, they hate you, dude. They don't like you at all. And that's why they want to separate from Ontario all those years. And I remember one year I was working a fucking, like I was doing none of this shit. I was working a warehouse job for the Royal Conservatory of Music that fucking Paul Schaefer from Letterman actually graduated from. Mm-hmm. And I remember I saw the racks swaying in the warehouse and I was like, what the fuck? And someone came out and said, did you feel that? I said, what? They're like, there's a little earthquake. It's on the radio. We just got hit with an earthquake. And apparently they said it fucking originated in Quebec. And I was like, motherfuckers are so desperate to separate. They're all on the border with fucking jackhammers trying to just physically separate. And that's what caused this. They're fucking hell bent, man.
That's fucking funny.
Fuckers are determined.
But yeah, as far as MMA goes, I mean, I like I said, I mean, I fought it for a long time. You know, at the same time I was a pro wrestler. You know, I haven't fought or wrestled since 2013 when I broke my neck. But like, I mean, after that I stopped following MMA, and you know, it's you know, it's been all about wrestling because I mean, you know, especially now, as far as being a pro wrestling fan, it's never been a better fucking time.
I agree.
I mean, with everything that's out there, I mean,
nice to have options again, man.
There's good competition. I mean, there's literally wrestling on every day a week except for Thursdays, if I'm not mistaken. and obviously the weekend. But
I think you're right.
Yeah, Monday we got Raw. Tuesday we got NWA Power and Impact. Then Wednesday we have AEW and NXT. And then Friday we got SmackDown. So, I mean, and then, you know, there's just so much good shit out there. There's never been a better time to be a wrestling fan.
What do you think of Rousey? I'm curious. I put you on the spot. I know.
So, I'm torn.
Ugh.
So, when she first debuted, in her WrestleMania match, was it last year, 2 years ago, whatever, 2 years ago? When she went up against when it was her and Kurt versus Hunter and Stephanie, I could tell she was being carried throughout that entire match.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of came into her own, but it was all doll ragging. Like when she first won the title with Alexa Bliss, you know, she just ragdolled her, and it was, it was not. There was no real art to it. It was just brutality.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because I look at someone like a Shayna Baszler, who is brutal as fuck as well, but she has a lot of fucking wrestling skill. And, you know, and if you put those two up against each other, yes, you know, Shayna was never the martial artist that, you know, Rousey was. 100%, no doubt in my mind. But Rousey will never be the wrestler that Shayna Baszler is.
I don't like Rousey's ego.
No one does. No one does. As a matter of fact, a couple weeks back, I had Ariane Celeste on the show, the world famous ring girl, and her and Rousey got into a huge Twitter war a few years back. Back when Rousey was with the UFC, because Rousey had made a comment about how ring girls make too much money and blah, 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 and just talking mad shit. So her and Ariane got into a huge, you know, beef about it. And Ariane was like, I remember the day she lost her title. I was not at the event. I was on vacation in Dubai or something like that. And I wasn't watching. I just got a text message that she won. And I immediately just went onto Twitter and just laughed. That's all she did was, ha, ha, ha.
Wow.
You know, it's funny as shit because her husband, Travis Brown, is not like that at all.
No, he's a different cat.
He really is. I mean, he's Hawaiian. He's laid back. He's just a chill dude. But I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, I think Ronda genuinely loved competing for WWE because it gave her, you know, opportunity to just kind of do her own thing, and, you know, back-to-back losses like she had in the UFC just killed her fucking ego.
Oh,
so, you know, I mean, she was a shell of a human after that shit. And now it's just like, you know, then she came in and she did her thing, and then, you know, a year later she dropped the belt to fucking, you know, Becky, and then she was gone and hasn't been seen of since. So it's like, you know, you claimed that you were trying to, you know, start a family. Are you still doing that? I mean, are you guys having a problem with, you know, we don't know. Obviously, we don't know if there's, you know, some type of thing going on there. For all we know, Travis got kicked in the nuts too many times. But, you know, if that's the case, what's going on? You know, you said that you were going to be around a long fucking time, and then she just hangs around for a fucking year, puts Becky over, and then dips the fuck out.
Right.
So I don't know.
Here's my question that a lot of people get really uncomfortable with, because it's not, you know, it's, I don't know. I think some people feel like it's, if they answer it in a certain way, they might look like a conspiracy theorist or some bullshit. But let's be real. You look at boxing, it's had its fucking history of, you know, take a dive, right?
Yep.
The loss to Home, do you think that was a work? She was going off to do movies, and she was the champ. She was going off to do fucking movies and could not defend the championship. And from a business perspective, UFC cannot make money off of fucking inactive champ. It would stand to reason that they said to her, look, Holly doesn't need to know, but we need that fucking championship. in this company, and you're going off to do Fast and the Furious and all this other bullshit.
If it was a work, you know, the way because she got knocked the fuck out by that fucking hook kick. And if it was a work, you know, I think she would have lost anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think it was, if it was a work or a shoot, whether or not she would have, you know, she would have won, or, you know, she would have won.
Right.
So I think that's you know, irrelevant, because I mean, that hook kick knocked her the fuck out. Well, she dropped like a fucking rag doll.
Right, and I feel like if anything, if it was a work, it was just a lack of faith in Holm. But I was like, Holm's gonna fucking destroy her anyway.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, you know, maybe it could have been a work, but at the same time, I don't know. All I know is that, you know, Dana White's biggest idol to this day is still Vince McMahon. So I mean, that's what he aspires to be. Right. I mean, that's why he's so vocal. You know, that's why he, you know, has his vlog. That's why he does this. That's why he does that. That's why he's always, you know, talking shit about the fucking refs. He aspires to be the fucking McMahon heel of the UFC. No doubt in my mind. So I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him, but I think Holly would have won regardless.
I think so too. I mean, naturally. But again, if it was a lack of faith in Holly's ability, you know, Holly doesn't need to know. And keep her confidence level high. And, you know, it's an interesting theory. I don't know. I've heard a few people kind of address it, and it was like, that makes sense to some degree. Or maybe it was just coincidental that it was her time.
Yeah.
You know, she was off to do movies. Maybe her mind was elsewhere, and she got caught, you know.
Yeah.
But her tantrum after losing was just disgusting.
Oh, my God. It really was. And then to go into hiding like she did, and yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I heard from like Misha Tate and a few other people that apparently she cussed somebody the fuck out for congratulating Holly on her win.
I didn't hear that. Damn.
She literally called out another female fighter and said, "How fucking dare you cross me?" Congratulating Holly on her win. Like, what the fuck? She was like, dude.
I wouldn't put it past her. I mean, I've never heard that, but I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah, even on Rogan's show, fucking, it was addressed and put out there to light. So, I mean, that to me is just a fucking sad display.
Yeah, I mean, I think whatever she's doing now needs to continue to be that way. You know, like I said, I enjoyed her the year she was, you know, in WWE, and she did put, you know, Becky over in a very, very positive way. So, I mean, I give her credit for that. You know, she did the job. But now it's just like, you know, I think she just needs to stay away.
Did you happen to see Raw on Monday?
I saw bits and pieces of it last night. Yeah. Unfortunately, my show.
Yeah, because
yeah, I watched bits and pieces of it from on Raw, assuming on YouTube this morning and this afternoon. So yeah, I mean, I saw some of the shit. Yeah.
Did you see Mickey?
Yeah. So
what the fuck was that?
So I heard a couple different stories. So Meltzer came out with something about how supposedly she had hurt her shoulder, and Mick Foley even came out and said, yeah, she had hurt her shoulder. However, her face when that bell was called was epic. And then later on, I guess in the day, that report was negated, and like, oh wait, no, the ref just fucking botched the fucking finish because he thought she had hurt herself. What I thought was that because if you watch the whole match, it was a fucking botch fest. I thought he was getting word from Vince, get them the fuck back here now. That's very possible.
He's gonna rip them apart because that shit. Like that kick to fucking Asuka's face, and she drops you couldn't hear a sound because she didn't even connect, and she sold it. And
but Mickey's notorious for that.
It's so bad. That whole match.
I remember I was at WrestleMania 21, 22, whatever one was in Chicago. The year that
22,
Eddie, the one that Eddie died and Bray won the title.
I had the DVD.
That was Trish Stratus's retirement match. And Mickey botched the fuck. They had to redo the ending of the match in the middle of the fucking pay-per-view. I mean, she botched the finish, And then they redid the finish, and then she won. But it was so fucking botched. Yeah, it was bad.
They don't put that on DVD. They just give you
no.
the
They
version.
cut out the botch, and then you just see her go straight to the fucking finish.
That's brutal.
But I mean, Mickey's great because I mean the thing about it is I trained with Mickey back in the day, back when she was Alexis Lurie, because her and I both trained with Dory Funk Jr.
Oh wow!
And so you know, Alexis, you know, back in the day when she was Alexis and not Alexa, shut the fuck up. Unplug my echo there. You know, back then she was a badass, and when she first got introduced as her crazy fucking character, she was fucking amazing. But there was something about the chemistry between her and fucking Stratus that just did not click in the ring. Vocally and the storyline was amazing.
Absolutely.
But the actual work in the ring, horrible. And I don't know if it was Stratus's fault or Mickey's fault, but I mean, if history goes to show, you know, the botches that Mickey's had since then, I'm going to go ahead and, I mean, I love her to death. She was cool as shit back in the day, but I don't know.
I mean, there's so many factors it could be too, like all the pressure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I heard Renee left because of micromanagement and just too much pressure. I mean, Foley left the commentary position for the same reason.
Yeah. Well, Renee left because, well, a couple of reasons. Number one, when she came down with COVID, nobody called her and said, "Are you okay?"
Right? Yeah.
And then on top of that, she didn't, you know, she was on the announce desk for about a year, and I took her off, and she was okay with that because she didn't want to be an announcer. She wanted to be a talk show host, a show host. You know, she was cool with doing the talking smack and all this other stuff that she was doing, but she wanted to be a host. And after Backstage got canceled, they pretty much just had nothing for her.
Right.
So she was like, you know what, fuck it. But she's on like a fucking 1-year non-compete now. So she can't even join, you know, John in fucking AEW. You know, but she's got some other stuff going on. I guess she's doing something else with fucking Fox. But who knows? I mean, yeah, the state of the WWE right now is, I don't know. I mean, they have the most talented roster in the entire fucking world, hands down.
Easy.
But NXT is the best show, hands down.
Yeah, it's about how you utilize the talent.
Yeah. And because Hunter, I think, is a fantastic booker and a storyteller. Vince, I don't know what his 70-year-old brain is thinking these days.
He overrides everything, man.
Yeah. But now I do have a little bit of hope that something is on the horizon as far as Retribution goes.
Yeah.
Because at least the story that they're trying to tell right now, as far as, you know, there needs to be a change, you know, we're sick and tired of seeing the same old shit, you know, that's the stuff that fans are saying. So you know, is that going to happen, or is it going to be like fucking Nexus and they're going to run the fucking town, and then that Survivor Series this year, they're going to fucking eat shit because John Cena doesn't want to put them over. Right. You know, and that was the story, you know, what, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whatever it was. No, God, fuck, that was longer than that. 15 years ago, 14 years ago, whatever it was. But
time flies, man.
It really does.
But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm almost hoping that, even though I know for a fact he's not, almost, because I can just, you know, but I'm hoping Punk is involved in some way.
I know. I really fucking I agree completely. I know he's not, but it would be cool if it was all just him bullshitting and like, no, okay, fuck it, I really am, and I just wasn't going to tell you idiots that, but you know, kind of deal. I would love that, but the last I heard with him was he was open to coming back if everything, the timing and the concept and everything was right. And this sounds pretty right to me.
Yeah.
But the last I heard was he was not about to call them because he didn't feel he needs to. And Vince is not the type to fucking call first because, you know, well, if he's not going to call me, fuck him, I'm not going to call him. Yeah. And it's just a battle of who's more stubborn at this point. And I really hope that it works out where Punk is involved.
Yeah. I would love to see Punk just come back for one final run in general. You know, the way he walked out was a stone cold move. because Stone Cold did it with Brock
Right.
back in the early 2000s. And then he did it because, he didn't want to have to, face Paul or, Triple H at WrestleMania. He's like, I don't need to face you. What the fuck's the point? I don't care if you're putting me over or not. I don't need to fucking face you. So, he walked out and, I would love to see, just one final hurrah for him.
Yeah, me too. But I feel like with the way the company has proven their track record lately, they fucking bury people that come back. They promise them the world, and then when they come back, they fucking make them look like idiots, and then they let them go.
Well, I would agree with you with the exception of Lashley and MVP with Hurt Business.
Yeah, that's it was slow going when Lashley came back. It was like they put some garbage.
But then look at him now.
Yeah, he's actually doing pretty cool now.
Yeah, because they even had Cedric and Alexander turn heel, which was I kind of saw coming, but at the same time, I wasn't. I didn't really, see it at the same time. And then plus the stuff that they're, even though it's not a return, but the way they're pushing Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
I am super fucking impressed with him. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago when he faced Murphy one-on-one and he did that fucking slide out of the ring, fucking over the top, fucking sunset flip, fucking power bomb onto the fucking table. What the fuck was that? That was a fucking amazing.
That was badass. I was like, holy shit, man, he's got some talent. And in his early career, he's pulling shit like that. Wait till he's like, 10 years in.
Yeah, I mean that match with Seth at SummerSlam, you could tell Seth was carrying the match, but I'll tell you what, he did everything fucking right.
Oh, absolutely.
Dominic Mysterio is gonna be a fucking badass, and
he's got a lot of pressure on him, so I expected nerves to play a factor for a while until he gets comfortable. And he's got it pretty good right now, because imagine if there's like an actual live crowd there, the pressure would be fucking way higher. But I think he's got a pretty good sweet spot right now where it gets you a feel for it, where it's not just an empty fucking building.
Yeah.
But wait till you get live people, you're gonna have nerves all over again.
Yeah. What do you think they're gonna do with Adam Cole?
Fuck. I mean, it's kind of at a point where everyone they bring up to the main gets buried to the point where people don't want to come up.
No, I mean, he's been outspoken about not wanting to come up. Him, Gargano's, Ciampa have all been outspoken about not wanting to come up.
So, I mean, you would think that would be something that they feel the need to address, but they won't. I don't know, obviously, what goes on, between Hunter and Vince, but you would think he's got to be pissed off at this point and telling Vince, you got to fucking stop burying everyone that we bring up.
Yeah.
Because now they don't even want to fucking come up.
Well, I mean, I have high hopes for Keith Lee.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good so far.
I mean, the story from last night didn't really play out. We don't really know what's going to end up happening with that. But if, his first pay-per-view match... Oh, let me rephrase that, because, he was in the Royal Rumble. But his first real, one-on-one singles match was for the fucking title. And I think fucking, like Bubble Ray Dudley says all the fucking time, one person goes over and one person gets over. And I think Drew McIntyre will be the one to get him over regardless. Yep. So I have high hopes for it. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to see another Randy fucking, Drew McIntyre match, because that match was fantastic at SummerSlam.
It was very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
But at the same time, it's like, I want to see Keith Lee versus fucking Drew McIntyre.
That's fresh and new. It's not been done. It's a definite step in the right direction with younger talent finally getting a shake and getting an opportunity, because that's what they need to be doing. Stop building it around guys that are fucking trying to retire soon. Then you have nobody. You've learned
Yeah.
this already from experience. Like, you're not helping yourselves, man.
Yeah. I
You're
mean, the Brock situation I think was okay. Because he had a kind of a Bruno San Martino feel to it. Because Bruno, back in the day, defended his title maybe 2 or 3 times a year. You never saw him until he was ready to defend the title. And that's how it originally was. So, however, with today's day and age, if you go on any fucking, dirt sheet web board, all they fucking do is bitch about long played out storylines. It's like they want immediate gratification. And it's like, let it fucking play out. This is how it was back in the day. Why do you need instant fucking gratification? Give it a fucking chance.
right. And to your point, man, I had no problem with the Lesnar thing because I was like, dude, when a fucking championship is defended every fucking Monday night and changes hands on a weekday show and shit, it's not special anymore. No one cares.
Yeah. The only problem I did have with the Lesnar situation was the way he put Seth over was almost identical to the way he put Drew over. It was quick. It was Brock doing a bunch of fucking German suplexes and then them hitting the finisher 3 or 4 times to finally put him over. It was the exact same formula both times. That's the only real problem I had with it. But other than that, I think it was pretty fucking cool because we got some great fucking matches. Like him versus AJ Styles.
Yes.
Wow.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, now the Samoa Joe one, I think could have been a lot better.
I think that would have been dope.
Yeah, I mean, that one had a lot of potential, and it fucking, real quick, F5 done. Samoa Joe's stronger than that. They should have given him more of a chance. But there was some really good stuff there, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see how everything plays out. Now we got Roman back, aligning himself with fucking Paul Heyman, which I think is interesting.
I do, yeah, I agree.
But I'm curious to see how him and Jey Uso match plays out. I have a theory about that.
I think that'll be cool. I've had a few ideas myself, but I said to my producer, because she's into it, and I was like, at the rate this is going, do you think Jay is just going to kick the shit out of himself for the first 10 minutes and then Reigns will decide to fucking join the match? Like, I don't like this angle with fucking I'll show up when I feel like it kind of deal.
Yeah. Show up, win, leave. It's weird. But who knows? But at the same time, I have a feeling that we're going to end up getting a family storyline out of this.
Yeah. I said to her, like, just in passing, I was like, what if Jay's brother interferes and fucks him and turns on him? I think that might be interesting because look at the back in the day, the Gangrel, Edge and Christian angle where Christian joined Gangrel and Edge is like, what the fuck? But then before you know it, he joins too. And it's like, oh, okay. Now they're all on the same page. It seemed abrupt, but it worked for some reason.
Yeah, it did. But I mean, I think we're definitely in the mood for a Samoan Dynasty, story.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks about it is I think, they need to find a way to get Nia a part of it because she needs someone to protect her.
Yeah.
From herself, put it that way. I mean, because she has caused some damage to people. I mean, now
some shit.
Her worst offense was the Becky Lynch thing. However, that turned out good for Becky. It did not turn out well for Kairi Sane, who, botched that, and then fucking next thing you know, she's fucking gone.
Yeah. That whole thing. Fuck. Yeah, she took a lot of heat for that.
She did.
But
now she's fucking tag team champion with fucking Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
I'm almost thinking that they put her in there with Shayna to keep to protect Nia and prevent her from doing stupid shit.
It's true.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's never been a better time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, you have options.
You really do. What do you feel about AEW?
Oh man, I've caught it a few times, and it was definitely different. I don't really have anything like terribly negative to say about it in any way. I've seen it enough to say, okay, this is different. It has its moments where I'm like, wow, that's different, and that's pretty interesting. And but I mean, they're still so new that I feel like they're still finding their footing to a degree.
I agree. But two things about them, though, from my perspective. Number one, it's just an Americanized version of New Japan. It's a spot fest in most cases. Then number two, they're already starting to do the gimmicky bullshit with fucking whatever the last one, All Out was. I think it was All Out, where they had that fucking mimosa fucking match with Orange Cassidy versus fucking Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho ended up in a bath of fucking mimosa. That has WWE written all over it.
Yeah, they criticize WWE a lot, and then they do some shit that's kind of,
I mean,
look.
Yeah, I mean, when Brody Lee came over, he was doing Luke Harper or whatever, came over, he was doing a fucking faux, Vince McMahon gimmick, and now he's dropped that. Miro or Rusev came in last week or 2 weeks ago, and cut a fuck this promo. Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona, whatever, and he's doing the same. And everyone's coming over there and dropping a fucking fuck WWE thing, and everyone's doing the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah, it feels like a rehash of the WCW days.
It really fucking does.
But like recycled and repackaged and just kind of mass produced, not even as authentic.
Yeah.
The hostility's not there because the money is not there in terms of like WCW. I think had that guaranteed money that was a comfort zone where people felt a little more open to say whatever the fuck they want because it was encouraged.
It was. And now that they're encouraged to say whatever the fuck they want as well. I mean, because another fucking Rhodes is running the goddamn show, so I mean, I don't know.
I mean, say whatever you want. So the first thing you do is come and plug your Twitch channel. It took me out of it a little bit,
But as far as Miro goes,
yeah, you can't come in being a badass.
Saying that I'll beat everyone on fucking Call of Duty on my fucking Twitch channel.
That's like that Chuck Norris movie where as he's killing motherfuckers, watch my YouTube channel, bitch. Subscribe to this. Like what? It doesn't have a place here, dude.
It doesn't. And
those are separate worlds.
You could tell that he was not comfortable speaking from his own mind. Because that fucking promo was all over the place. It didn't even make sense most of the time. And it was just like, okay, yeah. Fuck it. Woo!
It's like Scott Steiner trying to do math in a promo. It's awesome. It made about as much sense.
The Scott Steiner math.
Oh my God. I love Scotty, but that's horrendous. Jesus Christ.
So fucking bad.
Fuck.
I'll never forget that promo. That was one of the greatest fucking things ever.
It's like Colonel Sanders doing a PETA promo. It just it doesn't fucking make sense.
That's fucking funny as shit. You're not wrong, dude.
When Scott Steiner puts out a good promo that makes perfect sense, Nickelback will put out a good song.
Oh, fuck. That's good. Let's take bets on that one.
I feel confident in that.
So do I. So do I.
Just I need proof though. They didn't give him a calculator off camera where he's looking down every 2 minutes, trying to do math that makes sense.
And they definitely fucking should have.
Probably flashcards instead of cue cards.
At least, written it on his hand or something.
Right.
2 + 2 = 4, bud. Oh, okay.
And even then, he'd be like, "Are you fucking sure about this?" I hate fat asses. I'm like, what? This has nothing to do with it. Oh my god.
All the roids have gone to his head like severely.
Oh, it's so bad. And I keep seeing these clickbait fucking YouTube videos where they're trying to get him to come back. I'm like, no, they're not. Even if they were, it's not going to happen.
No, I don't think Impact is that desperate right now to bring him back.
No, he was just in the hospital.
Again.
I mean,
bringing him back to do a match or sign him again is like anyone bringing back, fucking, Hulk Hogan to do another fucking match.
Well, they're not bringing him back to do a fucking promo, obviously.
Oh my god, no.
Or a math lesson.
Keep the fucking microphone out of that man's hand.
Oh my god, it's just like, stick to what you know.
But what does he know? He knows, jacking up his guns and wearing fucking chains on his head and barely fucking being talking like like this all the time.
His steroids and his Hot Topic chainmail.
Yeah, I mean, what I was just doing was exactly how he fucking talks. It's just like, it's like, I mean, come on.
It's like William Shatner cutting a fucking wrestling promo.
Let me tell you something.
Eventually.
Brother. I would rather watch, Shatner recite old Dusty Rhodes promos all day and completely fucking ruin and botch them than ever see Scott Steiner ever do anything again in the wrestling business.
Damn. I would rather see Scott Steiner have a comeback tour than Nickelback put out another CD. So
that's pretty bad.
That's awful.
That's really
That's where I'm at. And I'm just putting that out there. So before you fuckers blame Canada for Nickelback, not all of us fucking condone this mess. And I do apologize. Not because I'm Canadian, but because it's the right thing to do in this situation. In case somehow I had anything to do with it inadvertently by existing.
Yeah, right. I don't think I did.
If at any point they thought, well, he's Canadian, so he'll approve of this, I take responsibility from my end.
I think I even think Justin Trudeau is, is regretting, allowing them to continue to claim citizenship.
Probably. I mean, that's the right thing to do.
I think that's the big. Yeah, I mean, I know he's under investigation for some scandals and shit like that, but I think the biggest scandal is allowing them to continue to be considered Canadian.
I mean, that's probably the only one they're actually investigating. Like, we take this one seriously.
All right, Chad, you've spent more time in other countries. You need to pick another country. We're done.
Yeah, and stay there.
Just, yeah.
Like, who the fuck let you come back? Somebody dropped the ball.
What? How do you still have a passport?
I heard more people at the border were fired when he was able to return across the border because they fucked up. That's like a revolving door over there. They're just waiting for someone to get it right.
Yeah. I don't know if that's possible.
No.
No. And you would think, with those giant fucking hats that the Mounties fucking wear, you would think they have bigger fucking brains and, a little bit smarter. But no, they see that fucking motherfucker come and they're like, oh, come on back, Chad, we welcome you. No.
No.
Get the fuck out of here, eh?
No, what they do is they turn their back and they apologize to the rest of the country. Sorry, eh? You know, we let them back in again. Fuck.
My bad.
Like, how the fuck does this happen? It's because you fuckers refuse to keep him when he goes over there.
I'm going to rename this episode from, episode 78, conversation with fucking, Keith McCleary to I just shit on, we shit on fucking Chad Kroger for 2 hours.
Right. Because that's about it. Because somebody posted some bullshit on social media one time saying Nickelback needs to put out a Christmas CD. And that's when I fucking originally said the only thing I want to fucking hear out of Nickelback is an apology and a retirement speech. I don't want to fucking hear no fucking Christmas record from these assholes.
Yeah. I hope tomorrow morning when the podcast goes live, well, no, it'll go live tonight, but once the press release goes out, I hope Chad gets a hold of this and then he wants to talk to both of us.
If I'm assassinated, don't believe the hype. It was no accident. If they find a Nickelback CD lodged in my forehead, that was not a coincidence.
I'll memorialize you, bro.
I appreciate that.
Chad Kroger was, immediately assassinated today because he fucking murdered somebody for talking shit about him. Rightfully so.
Yeah, if they find my body with slit wrists and fucking, some saw setup where I had headphones on and Nickelback on loop, I killed myself for a fucking reason, dude. And it was not by choice. It was the better, the fucking lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Over the last 2 hours, we've talked everything from wrestling to MMA to music to, your backstory and stuff like that. And it's always come back to Chad Kroger.
Where do you think my aggression comes from for MMA? I heard a Nickelback CD once and I never fucking forgave anybody ever since. Just makes me want to beat the shit out of everybody.
So every time you look at that photograph, it doesn't make you laugh. It makes you pissed off.
Right. And then I just go on a rampage for a while.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's just how it's got to be.
That's definitely how it's got to be.
I think I was hypnotized where it's like, just imagine this motherfucker in front of you is Chad Kroger. I'm like, it's done. Laid out.
Yeah, because I think like that back in the day bullshit where people claimed if you played Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon backwards, or if you played Ozzy backwards, it was Hail Satan or whatever else bullshit they claimed. But in reality, if you play a Nickelback CD backwards, it's Chad just sitting there talking, "Don't hate us, we love you. Give us your money."
You can play it backwards, forwards, fucking sideways if you like. Fucking.
It's just them begging you for attention.
It's still awful. Nowhere do I get an apology that I feel I rightfully deserve for my time.
I don't think we ever will get that apology, and even if we did, it wouldn't be a worthy one.
Every other CD has like a thank you section. There should be like an apology section.
We apologize to the millions of people that bought the CD expecting a good album, and in reality, we gave you more shit just to give you more, give us more money, and we thank you for that. But we apologize to everybody else who hated it.
We basically shit on them for 2 hours, and I love it.
We did.
We did a public service here.
We did. PSA: Nickelback and Chad Kroger suck ass.
I mean, we told you assholes things you already know. You miserable dicks. You just didn't listen the first time. So we had to give you that harsh dose of truth.
Oh, fuck.
We had to be the ones to tell you stop trying to make excuses for them. It's not cool.
It's not. It's done. It died.
The second this dipshit fucking tried to claim that he's even on the level of Corey Taylor, it was over. It was like, okay, what do you have to say now in his defense?
I don't think they. No, because I think even the people that would defend him on that, probably hate fucking Slipknot and Stone Sour. They probably think that, what they play, as far as, Nickelback goes, is what real rock music is.
This motherfucker had the audacity to call Stone Sour Nickelback Light. If Nickelback was beer, it would be the hobo piss that just has enough alcohol content to know that this poor fucking homeless man has a fucking problem. So what the fuck is less than that?
Well, here in America, we say Bud Light is the, so what's the comparison? Molson? The Canadian comparison.
Dude, over here, Bud Light's equally hobo piss.
Okay, well, Labatt Blue. I don't fucking know.
Our shit is stronger. I mean, we have our light beer too. Like we have Coors Light, and it's fucking just, eh.
I don't even drink anything nationally branded anymore. I've become a fucking connoisseur of local good fucking beer, and anything that's like comes from Bud Light or fucking Anheuser-Busch or Coors or anything like that is just piss to me.
Yeah, I've never found anything strong enough that made me enjoy a Nickelback record, so I just don't give a fuck what I drink anymore. So there's just nothing that's gonna do it. So I don't really fucking get choosy at this point.
Fuck.
Not for lack of trying either.
You're pissing me off, man. Because normally when I have guests on, the only ones that are funnier than me is comedians, and you've completely trumped me this fucking last 2 hours, and now I need to come on your show and trump you because that's what I need to do now.
Open door policy. And I'm just an idiot, so I don't even know how this will happen. But yeah, dude, open door policy. Any fucking time you are fucking mortal. Come on.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I've had a blast with you, dude. I could fucking have this episode 5 days a week with you, dude. I had a fucking blast.
Man, that's an honor. I'm fucking more than happy to do it. It's nice to be on the other side of the fucking mic and not just like, it's my fucking show. Now I'm gonna have to edit shit and do all this other bullshit, and I don't fucking want to. But
want to hear a little secret? I don't edit shit. Go live.
I normally don't edit either. I just add the intro and outro, but in some cases, some people really need me to edit for them because they shit happens, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna do you the favor, and I'm just gonna cut that out. Or you get those weird technical snafus where you get like dead air, and I'm like, I don't want people to have to listen to that shit. So
yeah,
I cut it out.
Yeah, I mean that's why I use StreamYard because it gives me the ability to just download the audio after we're done. So I can just take that. I just cut out the first 30 seconds, for where it just says starting soon, and I take that first 30 seconds out and I just put it up and let it get that 25,000 downloads.
I'm not really familiar with StreamYard, so I'm pretty impressed by it. I've done a few shows where it was just indie bullshit that I was like, yeah, I'll fucking do it.
Yeah.
And they use it, and like the host gets a complex because their fucking co-hosts and shit are fanboying out, so they want to act like they're the big swinging dick of their fucking yard, so they just stare at their phone like, yeah, you're talking, that's cool, and just disrespect like a motherfucker. And it's like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do actual shows.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, I like I said, I mean, I try to keep this as professional as possible, in the most funniest possible way as well.
Oh, you did awesome. I mean, fuck, 2 hours, and it was like a blast. So
it was. It didn't even feel like 2 hours.
No, dude, I have no fucking I was like, this is fun as shit. I do.
Hell yeah. But I mean, to be totally honest with you, I mean, business talk for a second. I love fucking StreamYard because the thing about it is, with all the fucking different overlays and the different things I can fucking do, upload the fucking, my intro and my outro, the videos, add my commercials. I don't have to do shit. All I gotta do is click a fucking button. And
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Done. It's so fucking easy, and they just make it so fucking good. I mean, there's a lot of other ones out there like Restream.io and then you can also use like Zoom with fucking OBS and shit like that. But it's like, it's too fucking complicated once you get that fucking way. I could like just fucking making everything on fucking Photoshop, uploading it one time, and then I can just fucking, edit and go as I please. I mean, I have all the fucking, overlays made for the entire fucking week, already. So I don't have to do anything else, It's a fucking breeze. They're not a sponsor, so I don't give a fuck. But, you know, they're badass. It's just so easy to fucking use.
You sold me, man, because like IT wise, I'm as technically sound as a fucking Mennonite. So, I don't know rat shit from Rice Krispies when it comes to fucking IT shit more often than not. And when my producer's not around, I'm like, I got to figure this shit out now. But if it's that easy, I mean, I'll stop eating paste for a day and I'll fucking learn how to do some shit.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
I'll stop eating
it's so
crayons.
easy. It's so easy and so fucking good. I mean, like I said, I mean, once you learn, a little bit of technicalities behind it, like if you want to get, like I said, as technical as I have with all the fucking overlays and shit like that, I mean, then it's pretty easy. But other than that, it's just simplistic.
Yeah, man, it looks like titties and beer in my view. I love it. I think it's cool. So I'm probably gonna have to fucking dabble with this a little bit.
Yeah, let me know too. I can help you out with anything you need to.
Beauty. I appreciate that because I'm
Yeah.
gonna need all the help I can get.
Oh yeah, I'm all about it, man. I'm all about helping, people that we're connected with. So I mean, you and I are connected in a lot of fucking ways. So I'm all about helping you, and anything you can do, throw my way too. I'm all about too. So
Hell yeah, man.
like I said, I mean, you can bring me on your show. We can do this exact same fucking conversation again.
Fuck yes. Hit me up anytime. I'm all over social media and bullshit. So
Yeah.
I'm not hard to find, and just hit me up and fucking we can set something up because
Absolutely.
that's a blast, dude.
Hell yeah. I mean, I exposed you to 25,000 new people potentially, and you can expose me to however many people you get. So
Fucking A.
hell yeah. Hopefully this episode gets 25,000. We'll see.
Well, I mean, I'm Canadian, so you probably get like a listener, but it's cool. And it's gonna be Chad Kroger. Mad as fuck.
I will tag him in the release.
You're gonna get one listener and a negative review.
No, my biggest demographic is like, what is it? It's like 28 to 34, and then like 35 to 45 or whatever it is. So hopefully, that age bracket doesn't, has no appreciation level for Nickelback the same way we do. So they'll be like, yeah, fuck Nickelback.
I feel like my hate mail is gonna flow if we find out the hard way that that's not the case. So it's all good.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, if he tweets about it or even mentions the amount of hate, I doubt it. But if he even came close to mentioning it at all you and I are gonna get is like a standing ovation, a worldwide wave of people just gonna be like, yeah, somebody said it.
And if not, if it goes the other way, according to that live counter, it's been 2 hours and 3 minutes since I was last told to go fuck myself. So it's fine. It'll be fine. I have it coming. It's probably a new record. So, I can't get greedy.
Yeah, it's true. Dude, I've had a fucking blast with you tonight, man. I really fucking have.
So much fun, dude. It is an honor.
Dude, no, trust me, it's mine. You and I are on the same team. I mean, literally. So, we share the same guests. You've had all the same people I've had on, and I have all the same people you have on. So, I mean, it's all about fucking, respect and love and the same things that, the America does not have right now, and respect and love. We need to at least have that between ourselves.
Right? Canada gets none, but it's all good. I mean, I've apologized to you fuckers already for everything that I've taken responsibility for on this show. As
I got to give y'all a little bit of credit. I mean, me and my wife have discussed moving to Canada.
I think every American I talk to is like, what's wrong with Canada? I don't fucking live there right now. I'm like, yeah, you see, I admit mistakes were made, but you're telling me you want to live here, so.
Oh, absolutely. I would. I mean, I would in a heartbeat. I mean, I've actually researched, how I could, move up there. I'm not a skilled worker, but I own my own business. There we go. That's my way in, and that's a fucking legitimate way to get into Canada. You don't want to work here, you just want to fucking live here and run your own business, that's fine. We welcome it. As long as you make a donation to our, the society and of some type of fucking donation you got to make a donation to, and then they're like, okay, come on in.
I know why you fuckers want to live here so bad, because Nickelback spends all their time over there on your side. So I would migrate too.
I want to live in Calgary so I can run into Bret Hart and just say thank you.
He lives over there though now.
Does he still live in Calgary?
No, for like years ago, I heard he was living in like Arizona or some bullshit, or Atlanta, one of the two. Whatever starts with an A.
Or Tampa, like every other fucking
yeah,
in the entire world.
He was moving around, and it was for a woman. So I mean, he moved a lot, but he was living in the U.S.
I don't know. Now you know, moving to Canada, you know, Tampa or Atlanta or whatever, you know, wouldn't surprise me because his brain is so fucked up from that kick from fucking Goldberg that you know, he just won't know to be like, whatever, I'll do it.
Yeah, why not? Right?
Why not?
It's Florida, but okay. You know.
Oh fuck, dude, we've shit on everybody tonight.
Well, you get us two together, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I look forward to the hate mail.
Oh, so do I.
You Canadian motherfucker! How dare you?
I'm gonna get the reverse hate. Why would you talk to a Canadian for 2 fucking hours? What's wrong with you?
Right? Jesus, it must be a slow night. Slow day in the industry.
Well, no, because I mean, I was supposed to have somebody else on today, but you guys switched, so you know it happens.
That's weird. I got hit up and I was like, "Can you do it today instead?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "Can you do it tomorrow instead of Friday?" And I'm like, "I can do whatever the fuck anybody wants."
Yeah. Well, I was supposed to have Kenny Lee Lewis on tonight from you know, you've had him on.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I guess he had something going on, so he wanted to switch for Friday.
Fuck yeah, he's great, man. That dude's fucking awesome. So you're gonna have fun with that. And then you know you got the consolation prize instead. You got to talk to my stupid fucking ass. But
you know, I ain't complaining at all. Not one fucking bit. Trust me, it's been a fucking blast.
Dude, I had so much fun.
And then tomorrow I got, you know, Leland Sklar on.
He's dope too.
Yep. And then Thursday I have the lead singer from a band called Ashes to Omens.
Nice.
Yeah, so you haven't had him on yet. You will eventually if you keep, you know, using the same PR company that I use.
As long as you didn't say Nickelback, I'm like, okay.
Oh, dude, if it was Nickelback, I would invite you back just to have that conversation because we would have a lot of fucking fun.
That would be a blast. That would just be a beating. That'd be a mugging.
The interview would go maybe 5 minutes before Chad hung up on us.
That's being generous.
I would try to keep it at least 5 minutes long. I would try to like hold off on the hate and for at least 5 minutes before I can at least get the clicks.
I feel like he would see my face and be like, "Fuck that guy," and just disappear. And then I'd have to pull the Canadian routine and be like, "Sorry."
I wear a Slipknot shirt.
Right. I would put a big Corey Taylor backdrop up.
Oh hell yeah! I'd have to take my Captain American Spider-Man down for the day, but damn it. Or I'd quickly order a CMFT Can't Be Stopped shirt.
Right. My backdrop would just be a list of reasons Stone Sour is better than Nickelback. Number 1, Nickelback. That's all that needs to be said. That's why. Because fuck you.
I'd have to put I put my green screen back up. Just to make the coolest fucking graphic ever. Actually, no, it'd be so simplistic. It would just be a fucking, you know, red circle with the fucking line through it that says Nickelback. That's it.
I would have a glamour shot of me taking a dump on a Nickelback CD. It'd be like the best production value you've ever seen.
Oh,
it looked like
fuck.
Sears Portrait Studio.
I used to go to Sears all the time with my kids.
There you go. So you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, fuck. God damn it, dude. Oh, what a great fucking night.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is great, dude. This is absolutely fucking great. I can't wait to do it again.
Hell yeah, anytime. Tell me when.
Well, like I'll bring you back anytime, and like you said, you can have me on whenever you fucking want, dude. I'll be there.
Oh, people are gonna get so sick of us together because we're gonna do this all the fucking time now. And I'm not going to apologize for it either. Fuck being Canadian.
Hell no, I will not fucking apologize for it, because this was basically just, you know, you and I, you know, this was basically, it wasn't my show tonight. It was our show. We're just having fun. So I don't give a fuck, dude. If that's how it's gotta be, that's how it's gotta be. I'll sit here and drink my beer and just, you know, talk shit the whole night. I don't give a fuck.
I don't even give a fuck if it was like 50 listeners and they're all me. Just listening to it over and over. That's what it's gonna be if need be. I don't give a fuck. I'm still doing it.
Yeah, that's the one thing that sucks about this show, at least. You know, I go live on Twitch and I'm on YouTube as well. But like, I don't get shit for views because I know I go 2-3 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
But you know what? The podcast is where the listens are at.
That's right.
You know, so I mean, you know, people are like, well, I went to your YouTube. You only have like 100, you know, fucking followers. Okay, so what's your fucking point? I don't give a shit. Here are my numbers for the podcast. This is what matters.
Exactly. You know, and
there's not many people are going to sit there and watch two people talk face to face for fucking 2 hours and making jokes or whatever the case might be. But put us in a car on their way to work, and then on the way home from work, they'll fucking listen to it all the goddamn time.
That's right.
Yeah. So
I know
I love, you know, I love going on YouTube and having that extra fucking, you know, little piece of it, but the podcast is where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, my social media is just as bad, where the numbers are terrible because I don't keep up with it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not a social media whore that needs like a bajillion numbers. Like, I don't give a fuck. I barely contribute to the fucking thing because it just seems so like needy, and it's like my numbers, podcast wise, are where they need. My numbers fucking, you know, like financially is fucking where it needs to be. I don't give a fuck about Facebook fabrication numbers and like 5,000 people that don't actually follow what you're doing. They like the shit and they fuck off and never interact with anything.
Yeah,
it looks so fucking fake.
Well, that's the thing about like, you know, Instagram and Facebook. I don't have a, you know, very huge following. Instagram I do. I have, you know, near 13,000 followers. However, if I post anything about the show, I get no fucking reaction. But if I post a fucking meme like I did today, you know, it was a joke of Fozzie Bear talking to fucking Kermit the Frog, you know, I got fucking over 100 fucking likes in less than 5 minutes. But, you know, I put the picture up of you know, the episode for you and I, didn't even barely broke 20 fucking likes.
Right.
It's, you know, it's like, okay, so I had a good couple of fucking memes that, you know, got me a bunch of fucking, you know, followers. They don't fucking listen to the show.
And that's why I don't bother.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I don't give a shit. Because my numbers are like, you know, in my analytics that I see, I don't post those fucking things for everybody. If I did, it'd be a different story. But
the only people that see that is PR and fucking potential advertisers. That's it.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. Say what you want. I know what I'm getting right now, you know.
Exactly. And that's all that matters.
I'll take my 500,000 and hopefully by, you know, April of next year, which is my goal, I'll be at 1 million.
Trust me, it happens faster than you could fucking imagine too, man.
Yeah.
I hit a few and it's like, damn, I didn't think people would give a fuck. I was back, you know, I was like, I know that, you know, when I took time off of my career and shit, I was like, dude, if I'm still relevant enough that I get 100 fucking listeners, I'd be jazzed.
Yeah. I mean, no idea. This show was originally started back in February, right before the, you know, the virus really hit. And me and my buddy that started the show was originally called a different show called, you know, name, and it was me and another, you know, co-host. And we didn't interview anybody. It was just him and I doing exactly what you and I did the last 2 hours. And we were getting 25, 30, maybe 50 at the most, you know, downloads. And then right around May, it jumped up to about 10,000 per day. And then in July, I lost my job, and I've been doing this full time since July. And I took it from, you know, 10,000 to 22,000. And now I'm at like, you know, bordering 28,000 on average. You know, right now my average is like 25, but I hit 30 a couple times and stuff like that. And it was just like so fucking quick. People could not believe how fucking fast it was.
It happens like really quick. And
it's the fucking work.
It's a full-time job. I mean, when you put in that kind of fucking full-time effort, it really shows. And it's crazy. I mean, we never expect that people are going to give a fuck about our opinions on shit.
Yep.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like people like you and I are like overly opinionated. So it's we have to be like, okay, so should we say this? Fuck it, let's just say it.
I don't even have that conversation with myself anymore. I'm just like, so I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And if it ends today, sorry.
It is what it is.
That one's on me. I said some shit I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah. But, it happens like that.
Absolutely.
But, I love what I do. I love this fucking, platform. I love this fucking show. I love the people I talk to. I love the people that I've been connected to. And just, I would not give it up for the world at this point.
Fuck no. This is awesome.
Hell yeah. Dude, again, I can't thank you enough, bro. It's been a fucking phenomenal 2 hours and fucking, 15 minutes.
Damn. Yeah, pleasure's all mine, man. It was an honor.
Absolutely, bro. And we'll definitely do it again, whether it's on my show or yours. But
fuck yeah, hit me up.
Oh, absolutely, I will. Absolutely. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. We'll talk again soon.
Hell yeah.
All right, babe.
Thanks for having me, man.
No problem, man. Bye. All right, guys. And that is it for the fucking night. Come back tomorrow, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. West for Leland Sklar. And another fucking edition of Wednesday fucking on the Suck It Podcast. But until tomorrow, stay healthy, stay happy, and as always, stay fucking heavy. Peace.